God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to Genesis chapter 45, verse number 5, New Living Transliteration. And listen to the words of what it says. But don't be upset and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. Oh man, let me tell you, I want to talk tonight and just deal with this for a moment in the word. When you know what you know. And so there's a value in knowledge when you know what you know. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, my relationship with Jesus Christ is of such a magnitude that I know no matter what circumstance, no matter what situation I find myself in, He's going to extricate me out of that dilemma because God has given me a promise that He'll never leave me nor forsake me. And that's power when I get to that dark moment to know what I know. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about that against the backdrop of Joseph. Joseph's story really occupies more space in the book of Genesis than the stories of Adam, than the stories of Noah, than the stories of Abraham, than the stories of Isaac, and even his own father, Jacob. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, he was the son of Jacob's true love, Rachel. You remember Joseph's mother, and as his own brothers hated him, their antagonism and hostility toward him, fueled by envy and jealousy and hate, they began to grow. So, and ultimately, they decided, they had a meeting among themselves that they wanted to kill Joseph. But guess what? They somehow, one of the other brothers arranged the conversation and they changed their minds when a group of Midianite slave traders passed by. They sold Joseph to them for 20 pieces of silver. 20 pieces of silver. Watch this. And so the Midianite brought Joseph to Egypt. They brought Joseph to Egypt. And when they brought Joseph to Egypt, understand this, Potiphar, the man who purchased Joseph, if you will, was very powerful in the land of Egypt. He was the head of Pharaoh's palace, and he was palace guard. And so Joseph was so responsible. Joseph was he had so much integrity that Joseph was a hardworking individual. And so as a result, Potiphar gave him more and more responsibility. He gave him more and more responsibility as a result of the kind of work ethic Joseph had, even in a place that he knew he did not belong, even in a place of slavery. And so ultimately, he put Joseph in charge of the entire state. And however, Potiphar's wife was so determined to sleep with Joseph, but Joseph kept refusing her advances. And so she was far more from subtle in her process about it. And one day when the other servants had left to go out the house, she grabbed Joseph and pulled him down on the bed. Joseph really, guess what he did? He ran, according to the text, that it says that he ran out of the house so fast, leaving part of his garments behind. And so as a result, she accused him of rape. So Potiphar sent Joseph to prison. Here he is sold by his brothers, sent to prison. Now, as a result of someone else's affliction, they have mistreated, maligned, and masterfully maneuvered Joseph's place of being. As a result, because he easily could have said, Joseph could have been discouraged. He could have been at a place of frustration, as many of us do sometimes, and found ourselves in a place of complaining as opposed to lifting up and magnifying God. He easily could have said, God, Lord, I can't take this anymore. My brothers sell me into slavery, and then this woman tries to entice me. I resist her, and then she lied about it, and now I'm in prison. Oh, how easily Joseph could have been so discouraged, and how easy he could have been at the place of despondency. Instead, watch this. Now Joseph is in prison. This isn't fair. It wasn't fair, but yet the Bible never ever tells us. Listen at this. When you look at trace the line and logic of Joseph's life, the Bible never ever tells us that Joseph said anything to that effect. He could have felt like, God, God, you got me in this place and you've forgotten about me. Have you ever been in that place where everything that could go wrong went wrong? But the Bible gives us this very, very important detail, because when we look at Genesis chapter 39, verse 21, New Living Transliteration, it lets us know something very powerful. And I don't want you to miss this, that the Lord was with Joseph. Genesis 39, verse 21, New Living Transliteration, lets us know that the Lord was with Joseph. And God has promised us, no matter where we find ourselves, he's with us. The Lord was with Joseph as he sat there in that prison. And so I want to convey a message to you tonight as I seek to give you a little medicine for your mind and a little strategy for your soul. When you know what you know, and wherever you are, you need to know tonight that the Lord is with you too. That the Lord is with you. It was really an unbelievable turn of events for Joseph. Overnight, Joseph went from the pit to the prison, and guess what? To occupying the second most powerful position in the world, ruling over Egypt's food supply. Lord have mercy. And God strategically placed him there because he knew what the circumstances of his life was going to be. He knew what the circumstances of everybody's life around him was going to be. Because if the story had ended there, it would have been an amazing one. But instead, it culminated with one of the most amazing demonstrations of forgiveness on Joseph's part. And that's what I want to tell you. When you know what you know, you don't have to seek revenge. You can release those persons who have put you in a place that you really don't deserve to be. Because guess what? You don't have to seek revenge. You can be released because of your reassurance that you know you're going to get a reward. Fast forward many years, Joseph looked like a completely different person, because now Joseph is in a whole new spectrum of places. He didn't have a long hair, a beard of Hebrews. Rather, he looked like an Egyptian. Let me just tell you, there are times that God will have you not looking as you should because you're in a different place, and he will camouflage your character until he sets you free. Watch this. And just as God had warned through Pharaoh's dreams, a famine came. And meanwhile, Joseph's family is in the land of Canaan. The famine came in Egypt and all over the land and in Canaan. And Joseph is in the land. Joseph's family is in the land of Canaan, but he's there in Egypt sitting in the seat of authority. He was also dealing with the effects of the famine too. But they heard that there was grain in Egypt. Lord have mercy. I wonder, do you see what I'm trying to show you tonight? So his brothers went to get food in Egypt. And when they showed up, let me just tell you, God will bring people full circle back into your presence, and they'll need you again. Tell somebody they'll need you again. They showed up in Joseph's court. He recognized them, but because of his countenance and his change of features in terms of his hair, they did not recognize him. But amazing scene unfold, which we read about in Genesis chapter 45, our base scripture tonight. Joseph could stand it no longer, right? He stands there and he could stand it no longer, because when we look at from verse 1 all the way to verse number 5 to where we are, he could stand it no longer, where many people were in the room where he was, and he tells all of his attendants, y'all get out of here, I've got some business to take care of. So he was alone with his brothers when he told them who he was. Lord have mercy. Tell somebody full circle. God will bring things full circle. The people who thought they were doing you in were really doing you a favor. They were part of the paradigm of the process that was preordained for your propelment to move to another level. God has sent me here ahead of you. Look at what he says, to keep you and your families alive and preserved many survivors. So it was, ladies and gentlemen, God who sent me here, not you. God sent me here, not you. Verses 1 through 2, verses 7 and 8, New Living Transliteration. Look at it when you get a chance and check it out. This could have been the ultimate revenge story, but I keep telling you, you don't have to seek revenge. You can go ahead and release when you know you got a reward. You have the reassurance because God tells us and he shows us over and over again, no matter what comes on the scene, I've got you. Because instead, Joseph forgave them, all of them. And he knew that God is sovereign. He knew that God was sovereign, which means that he's in control. God is ubiquitous. He's all knowing. He's everywhere at the same time. God is God and God is God alone. And guess what? And he doesn't make any mistakes. No matter what happens to you, when you know that you are God's child and God has you on his agenda, you can rest assured that God's going to take care of you. To say that God is sovereign, ladies and gentlemen, is saying that nothing comes into the life of a Christian that has not been first approved by God. Your circumstances, your current condition, I keep telling you, is not your conclusion. It's been approved by God. Sometimes God allows us to go in the wilderness in order to make us better. Joseph knew that God was always in control of his life, and even in hard times. And God is the sovereign in your life right now. I want you to know tonight, as I've sought to give you a little medicine for your mind, a little strategy for your soul, that when you know what you know that no weapon formed against you is going to be able to prosper. You know greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You know that you're going to be the head and not the tail. You know you're going to be above and not beneath. You know that God is with you when everything, and guess what? When God is with us, you plus God equals a majority, not a minority, because guess what? There are people who are around you who have planned your destruction, but God is planning your deliverance. When you know that God is in charge of your life, you don't have to seek revenge. You can seek reassurance to know that God is going to give you a reward because you release them. Release them. Tell somebody release and let them go. And watch God work out the details of your life. You know that you know that you know that you know when you know what you know, that God has you on his agenda. When God is large and in charge of your life, you don't have to worry about the issues of the day because God is going to take care of today and tomorrow. He tells us that in his word. He said, don't take no thought for your life, what you're going to eat, what you're going to drink. He says, I've got it under full control. And when you know God has it under control, you can relax and know that God is working out the best things for you. That weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Guess what? All of this happened. Look at what the text says again. But do not be upset and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your life. Guess what? God knew that there was going to come a time that there would be a famine in the land. And because you could not handle your supply, God supplied me with my stuff and yours to bring you back to the place of where you could receive what you needed, because God could trust me more than he could trust you with your own stuff. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy tonight. I want to say to you that if you're an unsaved person, that you're looking in need of salvation, you can text Enon Salvation. Text the keyword Enon Salvation to the number 54244. You can also use that number to text Enon Prayer to the number 54244. Enon, join Enon. Or you can text Enon MG, Enon Mobile Giving, to the number 54244. Or you can mail your tithe and offering 3550 Enon Road, Atlanta, Georgia 30349. Or you can go onto the website and give by going to the online giving portion and sow a seed into my life, into the ministry. You can give your tithe and offering. You can give Brothers Keepers offering, scholarship ministry, or pastor's love offering. Listen, you can do either one you wish to do. But I have sought tonight in these few moments in the word to give you some medicine for your mind and a little strategy for your soul so that you will know that when you know what you know, that's all you need to know. God has you on his agenda. Please know that and go in peace tonight. I love you very much. I pray that this time has been a blessing for you for the rest of the time that you have. God bless.